another episode of Bob's Woodshop. This week's project is this four-legged stool. I posted this three-legged stool last week. And while this is a nice project, it's really a beginner's project. And I wanted to increase the level of difficulty on this. So I'm going to show you how to build this. So let's get cracking. So my good buddy Ivan Romp gave me the walnut for the legs of this project. And here I'm just getting it down on the planer to the thickness that I want. I later took it over to the joiner. And here I'm just cutting it up to width. This was about 1 3/4 inches by 1 3/4 inches. Always use your push stick when you're using your table saw and your safety glasses. From there, I'm taking it over to my Bosch glide saw, and I got a little stop block over on the left-hand side there, and I'm cutting these all to 18.5 inches. See, this part goes relatively quickly. I love working with walnut. Walnut is my favorite wood next to cherry. Made many projects out of both. The smell of cherry is actually very nice. Walnut, the smell is not that great, but it's a very easy wood to work. So this is just regular milling of lumber, no big deal here. So from there, I got to start marking the center on each of the legs, and I've got this little plastic center finding jig, and so that makes it real simple to do this. I like these spring-loaded center punches. It's very easy to use, and it's just a nice tool to have. I started with a oak leg just to see the design that I would like to get. Here I'm getting into the first fixture that I'm using, and this is a fixture at 7.5 degrees for drilling the holes for the rungs. Here I'm trying to determine exactly where the fixture needs to be, and it needs to be directly in the center of each leg. I decided it was going to be much easier to drill the rung holes while the legs were still square. My original idea here was just to put 4 rungs in, but afterwards, and after the dry glue up, I ended up putting in 8 rungs, which you'll see a little bit later. So you could do this operation without the fixture and tilt your drill press table, but I find it easier just to use this fixture. So after about 10 minutes of making sure the fixture was in exactly the right spot, drilling of the holes was very easy. So I had to drill all 4 holes on the bottom first, and then I had to reposition the fixture in order to get the holes on the top side of the legs. Here I'm doing a dry fit to make sure that I drill the next holes exactly where they need to be. It'd be very easy to rotate one of these legs in the wrong position. So I'm just marking it off to make sure that I drill the holes correctly. Okay, here's just another quick check that I've got the drill bit exactly where I want it, and now I'm drilling the top rung holes. Again, I did 4 holes in the legs here, but I end up drilling 8. So once the fixture is in place, it's real easy to drill the holes. Just make sure your setup is right. This is another spot where measure twice, cut once is a good idea. So you might notice my orange broom handle there. I put that reflective tape on there to make sure it's easily identifiable in the shop. I don't know about you guys, but a lot of times I'm looking around and saying, where the heck is my dustpan, or where is my broom? And so I use that highly reflective tape in order to quickly find it. So here's a dry fit, and this is a dry fit with the dowels I got at the big box store. And again, this was my original idea, just to have 4 rungs. But after looking at that, I decided that wasn't going to be strong enough. And I marked the tops just to make sure that I'm doing the fits all correctly. It's easy to turn one of those upside down. Here I'm starting in on the legs. I got this at 8x speed. So this is going to go relatively quickly at 8x. But in reality, these only took about 8 or 9 minutes each. So here I'm using my 2-inch roughing gouge, doing some checks with different calibers. I got it down to about 1 5/8", I believe. Here I'm marking off 1.5 inches off of each end. And here I'm using a parting tool, and I'm making the tenon. This is 1 inch in thickness. Making sure that's good. Here I'm using a D-Way 1/2 inch beading tool, which makes it very easy to make beads. You could do it with a spindle gouge if you're a much better turner than I am, but I find this tool to be invaluable. So after I mark the center, I put a bead on each side of the center there. And now I'm making a shoulder at the top of the bottom of the beads and at the beads in the center, and one at the top. And I'm marking the center again, and I'm about to roll a very long bead. I'm using my 1-inch spindle gouge. I should say spindle roughing gouge. So obviously I had to make 4 of these, so I'm not going to show you making all 4. I'm just doing this to give you the high points of the build process. There I'm just tapering off the bottom of the leg. So my good buddy Stu Bauer from the New Jersey Woodturners gave me this piece of spalted maple. It's a little bit more than 2 inches thick and had a little bit of a bow in it. And I was trying to determine how much wood I'm going to have to turn off of there. So after finding the center, I have to bring it over the bandsaw and get it roughly round. Doesn't need to be perfectly round here, since I'm going to be putting it on the lathe. So this is another process, like most processes, just go slow. Don't need to beat any land speed records here. Again, this does not need to be perfectly round. Just needs to be pretty round, because I'm going to be putting a worm screw in the bottom of the seat and then mounting that onto the lathe chuck. So after using a worm screw, I chucked it up and turning it round. Again, I'm using this at 8x speed in order to give you an idea of the process. The worm screw I really don't like. I wasn't really able to hold it well inside the chuck, and I ended up having to take it out and just putting a faceplate on the bottom of the seat. Here I'm just going through the grits. I put a little bit of a well at the bottom of the seat to make it comfortable on the rear end. Since I had a design modification on the legs and deciding to put in 8 versus 4 rungs, I was using that little pointer to make sure that I was drilling the holes exactly perpendicular. It's really important to make it perpendicular, because if you're off a degree or 2, it's not going to fit together well. Here I'm using a center finder rule in order to find the center of the bottom of the seat. And there's the hole that I had for the worm screw. And here, from here, you got to use a square to make sure that these lines are perpendicular to the center. And here just simply extending the line from using the little triangular square. I had determined that the holes need to be 1 5/8 inches from the sides. And when making a stool or a chair, you really don't want the bottom of the feet sticking out much past the seat itself. So it's critical to put these holes in the exact position that they're supposed to be in. So here's the second fixture I built, and this was an adjustable fixture for drilling the holes in the seat. And since I drilled the rungs at a 7.5 degree angle, I'm drilling the holes on the seat at a 7.5 degree angle. So obviously I got to drill 4 holes here. Sorry, that wasn't a really good camera angle. So here's the completed seat. I think it's very attractive. I like that dish in the middle. And I nailed the 4 holes there. So again, another dry fit. And I really didn't want to use maple or big box store dowels. And I figured, what the heck, I've got a lathe, so let's go ahead and make 8 rungs. So I just grabbed a piece of scrap walnut and went through this process using a caliber. Each one of these rungs took about 2 minutes to make. So the dry fit went together very well, and before taking it apart, I marked each leg and the holes in the seat in order to put everything back exactly how I put it together initially. So here I'm just getting ready for the glue up. I used Tight Bond 3 and use a little piece of paper, and I also have a wet rag handy when I'm doing my glue ups. I also like to use these solder flux brushes when I do my glue ups, especially for small projects like this. So here I'm just thumping in the legs, making sure they're all seated well, and wiping off the excess glue. Again, routine woodworking. So once everything's seated, I have a web clamp, and this was the only clamping that I did. It was all pretty tight to begin with anyway. Here's an interesting process. Since the legs aren't completely flat now, you have to go around the bottom of the legs, and I used a piece of MDF and I drilled a hole in it the size of a pencil. And you just have to draw a line around each leg. And then from there, I took my little Japanese saw and cut against those lines, and this helps square the legs to the floor. I love these little Japanese saws. They work great. They're sharp. You have to be very careful around these because they are so sharp. So obviously got to do this on all 4 legs. And this gets the feet almost level, but not quite. I still have to do a little bit of adjustments. And I do that with my Festool Sander. And this is just for real fine adjustments. You can see where your cut line was not exact, and the sander makes it dead nuts. So I designed this stool to be able to put my sneakers on. It's the perfect height for that, and I did that on purpose. And I think it's going to work out great right here next to the front door. So I hope you liked this project. I had a lot of fun building it. And you know the drill. If you like my content, please like, comment, or subscribe, and tell your friends about me. I'd really appreciate it. So until next time, stay safe in your shop, keep your safety glasses on, and I'll see you on another episode of Bob's Woodshop. Bye-bye.